Yo, what is going on, guys? I just want to give my trade recap for today. Um, unfortunate, Unfortunately, we did take a quick loss. I'm not gonna lie. Um, we we had a great bias. We see, these highs get taken out. We get a nice reaction. We actually invalidate this whole structure by invalidating both this fair value gap as well as this fair value gap. We also invalidate this fair value gap as well. Um, and when we invalidated this fair value gap, we also made a BPR within it. So it's this fair value gap as well as this fair value gap kind of interline. So this inversion actually becomes a BPR, and we're actually holding structure quite well, especially after reacting off this inversion of here. I was pretty much just waiting for a new kind of condition to be formed, a fresh one, which we can take a reaction or continuation trade from. But yeah, we got stopped out pretty quickly. I think on one candle, which is yeah, I mean it happens sometimes. But um, let's go over high time frame kind of bias. So the only kind of high time frame bias I had coming into the market was the fact that we were making higher highs and higher lows. So structure is currently bullish on the 4 hour, as well as the 1 hour is kind of indecisive at the moment, but I did notice that we did inverse this inverse this bearish fair value gap here, to which indicates to me that hey, you know, sellers probably losing control here. In which we try to have that nice push down, took out these lows, and then we reacted from it. Um, but again, it's on the 1 hour time frame. Overall, we are bullish, but it's just a matter of um, current price action was still indecisive of where it wanted to go. But I did have these hourly highs drawn out as well as these hourly lows, which if we were to jump from this range, ideally, I want to see either this low or this high get taken out, and price could easily react off here. We come up, we make a low, and we continue up on the higher time frame trend. We also have this where we actually um, invalidate bullish structure and we start making some higher lows and lower lows to the downside. And the idea I was really kind of pushing for was the fact that we were already this far down, and ideally I would have loved to see a continuation of taking out these lows and then getting a reaction, just to follow the high time frame trend. But again, we were still indecisive on the 1 hour, but overall structure was bullish. I did take the trade based on the reaction that we had from our condition, which in our case was um, a 50-minute gap paired with a 5-minute gap paired with a 5-minute BPR. So in terms of the bearish 50-minute gap, we did have this small one here. As you guys can see, we made some highs. We actually took out these highs and we actually invalidated 5-minute structure, which is what this 15-minute candle was. We also had this 50-minute gap that was created on the move down, which brings us to the 5-minute. And on the 5-minute, this is kind of shown. This is kind of shown in a better way. As you guys can see, we actually took out these 50-minute highs, and we start making some lows towards these hourly lows down here. Actually would have been happy to actually take out these lows as well, but if the trade did playing out without this choppiness, I do think that this would have been a wonderful trade to actually get that flush move all the way out. And So pretty much we actually took out these lows. We still had these lows down here that hadn't been taken out, but we did take out all these kind of relative equal lows here. But again, this low is kind of part of the structure here. So ideally, if we were to take out these lows, I would love to see these lows get taken out also, which we weren't able to. So in which I still had a target in mind. I still had this target. I still had these targets down here, and the main draw being these hourly lows down here. So those were the targets that were set when taking this trade. So yeah, on the 5 minute time frame, we had this inversion where price actually bounced off from, but ideally, that's just a signal to me that hey, we are looking um buyers aren't looking as strong anymore. But again, within this range here, we still had this fair value gap that was still within this place as well. So once we inverse this gap, we inverse that gap with intention, and we also made a new condition, which in this case was our 5 minute fair value gap, which is over here. And that small little gap here is that 15-minute gap I was talking about here, where we actually reacted from it. When that 15-minute candle closed, price actually tried to reach up here, try to inverse both this 5 minute and this 15 minute. But again, sellers took control here. But yeah, fortunately, we actually got stopped out pretty quickly. And it's just one of those things where, I saw the reaction. I see that we're clearly not ready to go higher. We're clearly respecting this gap here. And this is, I can tell because, price is all the way up here, as you can see on this candle. And the last couple of seconds, we actually closed this far down, kind of making like a hammerhead 5 minute candle, which to me, kind of like, I've seen it nine times out of 10 when we close within the gap and we hold it, especially hovering above it and we close within it. Like, normally I see a flush move down to these lows without any issue. But yeah, it's just one of those days today's where we couldn't really get that move that we were looking for. So unfortunately a loss on this part. Like to me, I feel like this is a great trade. Again, we had that reaction, we had that 5 minute inversion, which is here. We had that BPR, we had that 5 minute bearish fair value gap. We had that 15-minute gap, which we reacted from. The 5 minute close within here with a hammerhead. So, unfortunately, I actually had a horrible fill, which I actually was meant to get filled here as soon as this candle closed. But as soon as this candle opened, we shot all the way down here. But again, stops actually still would have been the same, which was above these candle body highs. And just targeting, all these draws down here. And yeah, I mean, again, one of those trades where, 9 times out of 10, like when I see a candle close like that, and we're hovering above here, we get some displacement. And especially like when the 5 minute had a minute or like 2 minutes left, we get a nice we get a nice like closure below here, and we close on the 5 minute really, really well. And we just continue, and I was kind of looking for that continuation there. But yeah, overall price is kind of choppy. It's really, really hard to trade in this condition. Really, really hard to trade in this condition. You really, really like, it's to the point where markets like respecting PD arrays, but also not respecting it at the same time. But yeah, again, the market does whatever it wants. And when I see that we make some moves higher, I was looking for a continuation actually up to these hourly highs, but again, we had no 5 minute or 50-minute PD arrays. So it's kind of based on like, I don't want to deal with the choppiness of the 1 minute and the 3 minute, trying to catch a continuation off up to these hourly highs. But again, we get that continuation there, and which actually happens at the second hour, which sucks. But again, it's one of those things where we it's out of our control when we do take our trades. We just have to look for those PD arrays, and those kind of um, conditions is what we look for, right? When we trade. So yeah, overall, I would say a decent trade. Again, one of those things where I can't like when I see a reaction like that, I'm looking to go short, but um especially on the 5 minute, we had a beautiful 5 minute close, as well as reacting off that 15-minute gap, which is here BPR. Price was hovering up here, wanting to go up higher, and we closed well below. I'm looking to go short there, but again, one of those things where today wasn't our day, which is completely fine. Tomorrow's trade, the exact same setup comes, so I'm still taking it. Not every trade, same setup will occur. Once every while, where like you see the same kind of pattern. But yeah, majority of the time, I see that. Oh, majority of the time, I see that when we hold gaps, we hold them with direction and with intent. Especially when we take out those 15-minute highs, we get a nice reaction. So yeah, like it's one of those things where you know, um, the market just does whatever it wants. I can't predict everything. It's based on probable and things like that. So we just make the most that we can, come in with a winning attitude every single day, and yeah, just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to my girl too. She just finished her internship, and her last day is tomorrow, last day of the week. Let's see if we can bring her home with a bang tomorrow. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys.